let's see, Caleb. Let me think. He's gonna be in the guard, and he wants to make loop choke. First thing he's got to do is he's got to secure one hand, one of his hands onto my lapel. All right, now, notice he's got a high hand and a low hand. He's got to convince me to get low enough where he's got to pull me low enough to get the top hand around my head. So he pulls, he loops. Now, the same way that he started this, I got to get somehow back into that. The problem is now he's going to pull me so that his elbow is across my throat, and he wants me here. There's nowhere for me to go now. I have to posture up, straighten this arm. Then I can try to get my head back out of that hole if I can. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's see if everybody give that a shot. Not particularly tricky. Just remember that loop choke works by bending that elbow. You straighten that elbow. That gives you a way to get your head back out. Give it a try. Go.
Getting around the head is the hardest.
So it's a little bit trickier from the mount, right? He's got what? Dominant position and entanglement, right? So again, first of all, let's not give it to him, right? He puts his head down on the mat. He starts wiggling his head in here. I'm going to grab this arm and try to defend because I don't want him to get it. I can kind of see it coming. Let's say that I don't see it coming for some reason, and he gets this far. If that elbow is still straight, all I got to do is brace. When he pushes down, my elbow touches the ground, and he can't, unless he breaks my arm, which would be impossible pretty much, he can crank all day. Now, this hand becomes suddenly important. If he pulls hard enough with this hand, you'll hear my voice starts changing. Push hard left, pull hard here, and he's choking, but he's going to get tired. I can really reasonably resist. Does that make sense?
Sir.
Because my elbow is on the ground. This one, he starts cranking. This one doesn't work. He pushes. Right? I'm not going to be strong enough. He's going to put me out. I feel my eyeballs about to pop out of my head already. Okay? So when he does this, he pushes hard, roll to that elbow touches the ground. You see the brace? It's called a frame. Then, if I want, I can use my frame to straighten him up. Okay? I might not be able to get my head underneath here, but what do I have? What do I have?
Entanglement.
I've got entanglement. I bridge. Now, he can still lock this in, but this is where I escape. Does that make sense?
Sir.
So from the mount, brace, make the frame, push up, bridge hard. If he holds onto the choke, you'll get him to roll because he's got no way to oppose. If he lets go of the choke, you've escaped the choke. Now you can fight his arms again and try to bridge after the fact. Watching, Joel's gonna change his base on his top position, which would make it a little bit difficult for me to make this particular escape. He gets in, he goes here, and then he's not going to put the elbow to the ground. He's decided to go for a base position here, pull hard here, and start cranking until I tap. All right, pretty uncomfortable. And he's not even bending the elbow, so it's going to be hard for me to defend this easily. All right, I'm going to change slightly. It's going to be a little bit tricky, but he goes to crank. I'm going to go ahead and lock this here and put it inside of his thigh, crank. You see how my elbow's now against his thigh? That's the floor for all intents and purposes. Now, I'm just going to hold this, and I'm going to scoop this leg. And now I'm going to escape here. And I'm going to move to side control the other way. Now, that's kind of a modified attempt, but just notice where his base is. If he's on top of me and he's got both knees on the ground, both hands on the ground, he's posted, he's based. All right, go into the choke. These two hands suddenly are no longer able to post, but he can tap me out and choke me, right? He posts this leg up. For me to roll him this way would be hard. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
But this is the way he's vulnerable. He has to let go of this hand, or when I bridge and push hard, he's gonna get me. The problem is, the problem is, when I do roll him, he's still got this choke. So if I think I can hold this and just bridge him, if he holds on and goes to the guard, he chokes me from here. I'm in big trouble. I got to then go back to the basic one and go here. That's why I entangled the leg and kind of scooted out the side, messed him up a little bit. You got to make some, if he goes from this position to this position, there's your way out. There's an option. Okay? Cool. All right, questions on loop choke escape? All right.